Good evening. This is Ken Long from Tortoise Capital. I want to just share a short discussion with you about what I think of as the top down holistic view of the trading enterprise. I want you to adopt a mindset that looks at all of your trading activity as an organic whole, as an organizational structure and process that is designed to achieve certain objectives that resonate with your values and that engages in the markets in structured, systematic ways. So this is part of some ongoing dialogues I'm having with Patrick, who's in the course with us all right now, to establish the top-down holistic view. And so what Patrick's working on really is what I call an integrated set of plans, or a life plan about where he is, where he wants to go, what his outcomes are, what his goals and objectives are. And then a subset of that would be his business plan about all the structured processes he has in place for economic success. And then inside of that, a trading plan that encompasses all of the dimensions of trading as the engine for his business plan. And what we're working on is the idea that this needs to be expressed in the form of an elevator speech at some point, a 3-minute summary of what's the deal, so that you can be persuasive not only to others, but really persuasive to yourself. Because one of the things that happens in trading is that you're on the other side of the trade from millions and billions of people who say this cannot be done. And so it's hard enough to trade when you believe in yourself. And so one of the ways that we can develop the ability to ruthlessly execute our tested plans is to generate those feelings of confidence that come from knowing what our business is about and what it is that we're proposing to do. Being very clear about your organization, its strengths and weaknesses, its trade-offs, the goals and objectives, and all that jazz. So that's got to be reduced to an elevator speech that you find convincing in your own head, because there's a part of you on the inside whose job it is to question all of your assertions of fact, to undermine your own feelings of confidence. And so we've got to be able to persuade that part of us that we really do know what we're about. And so here's my crack at it. I would encourage you to review Patrick's written file. In fact, I didn't urge you to. I ordered you to do that as part of the homework for this week. But really, this diagram goes hand in hand with that narrative. This would be the sketch of how I envision all that stuff. So my sense is that we've got to care what the market is doing right now. It starts there. The market is showing us something. It's doing something that allows us to respond in effective ways. And so, in my view, what we've got to have is competence in at least these 3 different time frames. What I think of as tactical day trading, no overnight risk, working with price time now. Operational swing trading, which is that overnight trades lasting 2 to 10 days or 15 days, where the market has temporarily presented a short-term opportunity that will unfold over that period of time, and then as the market discovers the new price level, a swing occurs with some amount of momentum, and then when that move is over and we get back into a steady state of normal noise, then that swing is over. So we think of that as I think of that as operational swing trading. And then a longer term, higher time frame, strategic monthly asset allocation. Now I've drawn these shaded areas in between because I believe that there's overlap that is possible, that the operations and results and information you get in one time frame has information value in the other one. So there are swing trades that when the trade frame sets up, and I have reason to believe that there's going to be an abnormally large move in one direction or the other in the next 2 to 10 days, That also now becomes a really interesting candidate for intraday trading, because I can now start interpreting the price action in view of the larger time frames context. If this thing should be going up, if the trade works on the swing basis, it has to go up during the day. So if I see it going up during the day stronger than the market around it, then I know somebody else besides me is buying this thing with the volume. And that's really all a swing trade is a series of connected day trades. So that describes this boundary between tactical day trading and operational swing trading. By the same token, if we're using a relative strength model for asset allocation, like the blended monthly rebalancing system, then those things are expected to be stronger than the market on average over the next X months. We do it at least 1 month. Well, if it's going to be an outsized performer for 1 month, if all things go well, then that has a possibility to do swing trading in and around that primary signal. That becomes a swing trade opportunity for additional position size, because we have information now that's coming down from the higher time frame to inform the swing time frame. By the same token, if I have a set of daily tactical intraday trades in one symbol and it just keeps working, at some point I'm going to generate enough money from that win that I can now use markets money to start carrying some overnight risk, because perhaps this thing that has been exceptional during the day is turning into a great swing trade. And it may also be that a swing trade that just keeps going might end up actually becoming the next month's relative strength asset allocation target. And so you can work this multiple time frames from the bottoms up or the top down. And then our proper decision is to figure out, based on our skill set and results and the numbers of opportunities and the expectancy of the meta system inside each of these time dimensions, is what's the proper asset allocation by time frame. And then that becomes our meta system. And we need a command and control function that allows us to regulate our behavior in a business-like manner. That's what the business plan and the trading plan really constitutes. So not only do we care about what the market is doing right now so that we can tune the right systems to it and emphasize the time frame that is working the best, we also have to be aware of how the market is changing as a consequence of what it's doing. So we need sensors that are out there staying in tune to changing market conditions, which is why lesson number 2 is going to focus on market condition. If we get that right, then we've solved half the problem of swing trading, since the targets that we're using are going to be strongly correlated to the market in one fashion or another. It pays us to get the market call right and then refine that with sectors or countries or other broad indexes. From the bottoms up, this meta system that features command and control is really a learning process. And the learning that we get from the research and development and from the results of the actual performance, we get feedback from both directions. That's where learning can occur. When behavior has changed, learning has occurred. And so we want to use those results and study them in order to learn about them and use that feedback to improve the performance. We may want to look at some ideas that come out of that performance analysis and conduct additional research and development to see how we might extend our skills and enlarge the areas in which we have an edge. So that's also part of the learning. We've got to have resources to do this feedback learning R&D. We've got to have the motivation to do it. This entire trading and business enterprise is rooted in our core values of who we are as part of our life plan. And that's necessary so that the results that we get, that we care about, can be linked to performance goals that help us achieve our objectives in the trading plan, business plan, and life plan. Well, some of our internal qualities also affect the way we operate the system, because we're part of that system, this is at least partially human. I don't care how mechanical of a trader you are. You still have a human dimension in terms of setting your goals and objectives, testing your systems, deciding how much risk to take, deciding when to learn, when to adjust your system. And so now psychology is the lens through which we interpret this feedback and these results, and by which we orchestrate these elements of theory, knowledge, experience, and practice, our habits, our instincts, our biases. All of these things are connected through our psychology and integrated, and at some level informs our intuition. Our monkey mind is shaped by this formal and informal, this conscious and semi-conscious and unconscious processing of what's going on inside of us. The intuition is a fast track to those results that are being computed at a deep level. And so it's important to notice those things, because that is the subconscious talking to us about things that have not come to our attention yet. That's the dog that's wagging the tail of our relatively weak and limited consciousness, which can only handle 5 to 7 chunks at a time until we get under stress, and then it gets less. So rationality is a latecomer to our evolutionary adapted brain. And this connection to our intuitions and feelings and glimmers of thoughts and hunches and habits and instincts and bias, all of those things are windows into the soul, windows into the deep processing that's happening at the organism level that we want to convert into intentional action. That's why that zero state is so important. To be able to disconnect action from those knee-jerk responses to external stimuli. It's okay to have the feelings and the thoughts. They're going to happen anyway, so of course it's okay. You're not responsible for those. You just get them, and you got to do something with them, which might be nothing. I mean, that's something too. I mean, a choice to do nothing is still a choice. So intentional action requires us to somehow manage that connection of information flow, those gazillions of sensory inputs that are going into this brain of ours that's getting filtered and processed, linked together by psychology at the unconscious, semi-conscious, and conscious level, and then manifesting through action. It's our intentions to act. It's the decision to act in a certain way that is yours and yours alone. That's where the responsibility comes from. You can't control the feelings. You can't control your thoughts. They just happen. But you get to decide when it transitions into action in the world. That's your responsibility. No one else to blame for that. That's yours. And the results of those actions are what we use to feed back in order to learn and research and modify this system that is engaging in a market that is doing something while it is also going through a process of changing. So what we're working on right now in this operational swing trading is really one piece of this larger meta system that is us, that is this trading enterprise, which is part of a business enterprise, which is a part of your life enterprise, which is focused on goals that are connected to your values. And these are simply implementing processes that are more or less effective and efficient and well-tuned and transparent and subject to your conscious, intentional actions. You're in charge of this thing. It doesn't mean you can command, but it means that you are responsible for those results, and there are things that you can do to improve. So that's our focus here as well. While we are learning about these operational swing trading techniques, putting that into action is going to involve those external looks at what the market is doing, the processes we use to organize and analyze and reflect upon our learning. Why is it that we find certain pieces of evidence convincing? What does it take us to persuade ourselves that it's time to make a change or to do something or to not do something? How do we organize all that? What is the basis for learning and for making those kinds of decisions? Is it how we feel? Is it what we have for breakfast? Or is it the result of a reflective learning process that uses evidence, respects evidence and reason, but also acknowledges the power of these things like feelings, thoughts, and intuitions. Having trusted others helps us triangulate so that we can have independent verification or validation of the things that we're learning and seeing and doing. The role of trusted others in a network is very important in order to see ourselves through other people's eyes to gain a new dimension. You know, the six blind guys that are trying to describe the elephant, each one of them only sees one part of the elephant. But if they can communicate and learn to trust each other, then they have a deeper understanding of the elephant that goes beyond just the sum of their insights, but it's the integration and the reasoning and the elephant itself that contributes to their much deeper understanding if we can develop that community of practice. That's the venture that we're on right now. This is what I mean by the holistic enterprise view of the trading process and the trading organization as part of your business enterprise, as part of your life enterprise. So, thanks for your attention. Give some of that some thought. Take a look at Patrick's excellent one-page summary of his elevator speech for how he's working his way through that. I share a lot of those ideas and beliefs. Our brains seem to be wired in a similar fashion. Your job is to sort that out for yourself and to get one that fits you and a sketch that fits you. That's what we're working on in this course. Filling in the blanks, adding components, but also integrating those in a larger, sustainable learning organization that will allow you to continue to engage with the market, whatever it's doing, wherever it's going, so that you can sense and respond, adapt, and thrive in a robust system that is anti-fragile. It's robust. It survives discontinuous events. That's what we're looking to build. So, well done, and let's get on with it. Keep going.